The story of Poland in World War II is one of great sadness and a spirit that could not be broken. In September 1939, Poland was crushed by Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. The Polish army fought bravely, but Warsaw fell, and the government stopped working, yet Poland was not lost. The government started again in other countries, first in Paris, then London, promising to keep fighting. Across Europe, Polish soldiers, sailors and airmen who got away from the invasion started a very dangerous journey to join the Allies. Their motto, Za wasza I nasza wolność, for your freedom and ours. This was the start of the Polish armed forces in the West, an army without its own country, but with a strong reason to fight. These men had lost everything except their strong will to see Poland free again. They believed that by fighting for the Allies, they were fighting for their own country's future. Many suffered in Soviet prison camps before being let go in 1941, then walked through Persia to join British forces in the Middle East. Others reached France, only to be moved out again after France fell, eventually arriving in Britain. They came not as people needing help, but as fighters looking for a new place to fight. The Allies, especially Britain, really needed them. Putting these forces together in other countries was hard and risky, but their strong will never changed. The Polish spirit, hurt but not broken, was ready to keep fighting. Their journey was just starting. The world would soon see what an army from another country could do. The Polish forces from other countries fought wherever the Allies needed them. They worked with Allied leaders, but they always fought under their own flag, a sign of a country that refused to give up. They defended France, then Britain, becoming very important for defending the island. The Polish Navy protected ships crossing the Atlantic. The Air Force got ready for battle in the sky. In North Africa, the Carpathian Rifle Brigade stood strong next to British and Commonwealth soldiers. Polish bomber crews flew dangerous missions over Europe, which was taken over and paid a high price. The Polish II Corps, made up of men set free from Soviet prisons, would fight a very hard war in Italy. The 1st Armoured Division, trained in Scotland, would land in Normandy and help free France. The 1st Independent Parachute Brigade was made to help a future uprising in Warsaw. The Poles learned to use British tanks and planes, following Allied ways of doing things but never losing who they were. Their uniforms had the Polish eagle. Their tanks were named after Polish cities and heroes. They spoke their own language, sang their own songs and fought with strong national pride. They were not just soldiers. They were the living proof of Poland's will to live. Their fighting all over the world showed how good they were and how much they cared. They fought hoping to go home one day. The world saw their bravery on every front. The Polish forces from other countries became a force that the Axis could not ignore. In the summer of 1940, Britain was alone. The Battle of Britain was a fight to stay alive. The arrival of Polish pilots changed everything. At first, the RAF doubted their skills and language, but the 303 Squadron quickly showed they were amazing. They flew with great fierceness and skill, driven by a personal desire for revenge against the German Air Force. These pilots had already fought the Germans in Poland and France. They knew how the enemy fought. Their Hawker Hurricanes became tools for getting even. The 303 Squadron became the unit that shot down the most planes in the Battle of Britain, given credit for 126 German planes in 6 weeks. In total, 145 Polish pilots fought in the battle, and their impact was huge. Air Chief Marshal Dowding later said, "If it hadn't been for the amazing help from the Polish squadrons and their unmatched bravery, I'm not sure that the result would have been the same." The Poles became heroes, the few of the few. Their story was sometimes not talked about as much, but their main goal stayed on the mission. They kept flying and fighting throughout the war, helping with bomber escorts and the D-Day landings. Their bravery kept the hope of a free Poland alive. The Polish Eagle flew over Britain even as their home country was taken over. Their story in the skies lives on. While Polish pilots defended Britain, Polish soldiers faced a terrible time in North Africa. The Carpathian Rifle Brigade arrived in Tobruk in August 1941, taking over from tired Australian defenders. The siege was very hard. Constant shelling, not enough water, sickness and always danger. The Poles brought strong determination, earning a name for aggressive patrols and steady defense. They took the fight to the enemy, launching brave night raids on German and Italian positions. These men had escaped Poland, crossed continents, and refused to give up. For over 4 months, they held their area, pushing back attacks and helping to end the siege in December 1941. Their stand at Tobruk showed the world that Polish soldiers fought and died alongside the Allies on every front. The experience made them a tough, experienced unit for the Italian War. Whether in the air over England or the sands of Libya, the Polish soldier proved to be very strong. Their ability to bounce back became famous. The Rats of Tobruk had earned their place in history. The Italian War was slow and hard, with the Gustav Line and Monte Cassino being its most deadly challenges. Allied attacks failed for months, until the Polish Second Corps, led by General Anders, was given the job. These men had survived Soviet prison camps and walked out of Russia to fight. The attack on Monte Cassino began on May 12, 1944. The fighting was very brutal. Steep slopes, machine gun fire, and hand-to-hand fighting. The first attack failed, but the Poles got ready again and attacked. On May 18th, a small group reached the top. The Germans had left. The Polish flag was raised over the ruined buildings, a moment of great pride. The victory opened the way to Rome, but at a terrible cost. Nearly 4,000 Polish soldiers hurt or killed. For the Poles, it was a victory that felt both good and bad, shown by the red poppies that later grew on the battlefield. Their bravery at Monte Cassino became a symbol of Poland's great sacrifice. The world noticed, but the price of winning was very high. D-Day, June 6, 1944. The Allies attacked Normandy. The Polish 1st Armoured Division, led by General Maczek, landed in late July. Their big moment came at the Falaise Pocket, where the Allies wanted to trap the German 7th Army. The Poles were told to take Hill 262, the main escape route. They fought their way to the spot, closing the gap and trapping tens of thousands of Germans. Surrounded and constantly attacked, the Poles held out for 3 days, low on supplies, but refusing to give up. Their stand was very important in destroying the German army in France. The battlefield was full of death and destruction, the cost was high, but the victory was clear. The 1st Armoured Division's bravery amazed their allies. Their actions at Falaise were an amazing show of military skill. The way to freedom went through Polish strength. Their help in the Allied victory in Normandy was very clear. Operation Market Garden, September 1944. A bold Allied plan to take bridges in the Netherlands. The Polish 1st Independent Parachute Brigade, led by General Sosabowski, was told to help the British at Arnhem. Sosabowski doubted the plan, but his warnings were not listened to. The operation quickly fell apart. German resistance was strong and the ground attacks stopped. The Polish paratroopers were delayed by weather and landed into a mess. They landed near Driel, across the river from the British who were under attack. Even though things were very hard, they tried desperately to cross the river while being shot at. Only a few reached the British, the rest held Driel, covering the escape. Market Garden failed, and the Poles were unfairly blamed by some British commanders. It was a sad end to a brave effort. The Polish brigade's sacrifice was clear, even if they didn't get the credit they deserved. In the wars last year, Polish forces fought with strong determination that did not lessen. The 1st Armoured Division freed towns across France, Belgium and the Netherlands, saving people whenever they could. Their final act taking the German naval base at Wilhelmshaven in May 1945, accepting the surrender of the soldiers there and over 200 warships. Meanwhile, the Polish Second Corps moved forward in Italy, helping to break the last German lines and free cities like Ancona and Bologna. In Berlin, the Polish First Army, formed under Soviet command, fought alongside the Red Army in the final attack. They raised the Polish flag over the Brandenburg Gate and Victory Column. For Polish soldiers, defeating Nazi Germany was a moment of pride and mixed feelings. They had fought on land, sea and air, earning the respect of allies and making enemies afraid. From Britain's skies to Africa's deserts, Italy's mountains to France's fields, they upheld their nation's honor. They fought for freedom, theirs and ours. But as the guns stopped, a new reality appeared. The victory they had earned would not bring freedom to their homeland. The end of World War II should have been a great win for the Polish forces from other countries. They were the fourth largest Allied army in Europe, fighting from the first day to the last. Yet in 1946, they were not allowed in London's victory parades, a shocking betrayal. At Yalta, the Allies gave Poland to Stalin's control. A communist government was put in charge in Warsaw. For the soldiers of the government that was outside Poland, this was a disaster. Many chose to stay in other countries rather than go back to a homeland controlled by the Soviets, facing harsh treatment if they did. Generals became bartenders and factory workers, their bravery forgotten in the new political situation. But their story lived on. The Polish forces from other countries kept the spirit of independence alive. Their bravery and sacrifice reminded the world that Poland had not given up. They made a difference in every big battle. Denied a place in the parades and a home in a free country, their story is one of unmatched honor and strength. They were the unsung heroes of World War II, a testament to a nation's unbreakable will to be free.